can reflect back to being a player with and manager of some of the finest players that have ever been in the game.
Hotspur America. From the United States to N17, this is the original US-based podcast dedicated solely to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club.
When you're at a club like Tottenham, they expect you to win all the time. Be the best club in the country as far as I'm concerned.
Coming to you each week during the season.
Spurs in full cry here. Lamella! Oh, what a goal! And Christian Eriksen has scored!
I hate Arsenal. I just hate them.
Oh, what a goal! And Cafu has put Tottenham in front! Kane comes to the Emirates, scores for Spurs.
We're the Yids in America.
Carried away, but Dix is there to tap in!
To dare is to do.
Tottenham Hotspur turning on the style. Glory, glory night at White Hart Lane. The Spurs are still marching on.
This is Hotspur America.
Season 4, episode 21 of the Hotspur America podcast. Finally, back to our winning ways. Apoel, that match we get to take a look at, and the week actually a couple of weeks that Sonny's had has been quite impressive. As always, the Hotspur America podcast, brought to you by the Community Beer Company, the perfect pub pint to share with your mates. Follow Hotspur America podcast on social media, a bunch of different platforms. Hotspur America Pod on Instagram. Also find us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Spreaker, our podcast host, and of course, iTunes. Let's jump right into the Champions League finale, match week 6 of the group stages, taking on Apoel. I know the poor run of form recently kind of had us in the doldrums a little bit about this when we did predictions last week. I think I picked a draw, a couple of other people picked draws. Went out there and did the business, 3-0 at home. As always, Wembley not really rocking for Apoel like we did against Real Madrid, but still a good Champions League run. Took 16 of 18 points. Tim, I'll start with you. What did you think of that match?
I thought we finally saw what we were hoping to see from Llorente. I thought he was really good in this match, and that goal that he scored, just that perfect touch on the ball to control it with the turn. And then he had some good flicks on, not even just with his head, but with his foot. I think that's what we've been waiting to see, is that type of player, and I'm interested to see if he can carry on.
And what a difference being able to play 90 minutes versus 20 minutes makes, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
A lot into it.
Yeah, he finally got the bed in, get some momentum going, and hopefully he can carry on that as we get into this busy fixture congestion with the holiday season.
What about you, Chairs? What did you think of the match?
I thought we started brightly, got into it pretty quickly. The rhythm was good, and we got the goals earlier. And once we do that, it's a different game. When we're chasing the game, as we've done with these early goals that we've given up over the last few weeks, you just know our game plan struggles. We're very good at battling teams that are chasing the game, not so good at breaking them down when they're parking the bus. And again, that's tough for any team, and unless you're City. But I thought it was a bright start. Some very good opportunities taken. Nice to see rotation in the squad and for them to do well. And, Apoel have not been a pushover. I know they lost twice to us and once handily to Madrid. But I think they acquitted themselves well, getting the 2 draws of Dortmund. I know it's not the same Dortmund team, but they weren't a pushover, and they gave us some stops and starts. But did form really have much to do other than read a book? Probably not. But job done, and good way to finish the group. I think most points out of any of the teams in the group stages. Very nice.
Very nice. 16 of 18, as we said. EPL sides, Premier League sides, if you will, represented very well in this tournament. 5 sides were in this. 4 won their group. Chelsea, of course, bottled it by drawing on the last day, I believe. Or no, they lost to Atletico Madrid, giving Roma the nod. So as we look at what happens Monday, right? So we have the draw coming up. And I was looking at the Group 2 teams, all the teams that finished second, that we could be paired against. Real Madrid, obviously, in that group. And I don't know how it works. Can you be paired with somebody who was in your group? Like, can you be drawn against them?
No.
Okay, so Real Madrid is out.
We have six teams that we can be drawn against, and I'm going to go off the top of my head. Besiktas, Sevilla, Shakhtar, Juve. Help me out, Tim.
No,
I've lost the other
Besiktas
two.
they won their group.
Oh,
it
they
was
did?
Juve,
Basel.
Bayern,
Basel, that's what I'm
Basel.
thinking. Yeah. So Yeah, that's it.
So Basel, Bayern,
Shakhtar, Sevilla, right? Sevilla,
Yep.
Juve, and there's someone else.
Chelsea.
Forgot. No,
we can't.
can't be drawn
Porto.
against Chelsea. Porto.
That's it.
Yeah, so there's only 6 second-place teams we can face because Chelsea is obviously the other one.
For fuck's sakes, that was brutal.
Yeah, it was.
That was awful.
And we'll wake up knowing, because I think it's 11 o'clock GMT. So by the time we get up tomorrow morning, we'll know who we've been drawn against.
Yeah, so when you look at the
What
list,
do you
Tim.
think? Who do you want?
That's what I was going to get to. Who do you want, Tim?
I want Bayern.
Me too. And why?
Because they've knocked the scum out 3 out of the last 5 years, and I would love to just advance after playing them and be able to have that to hold on to. But also, I like the big matchups. I think it would be, the play. Like I said before, it seems that we get up for the bigger games, and I feel like we'll see a better performance out of the squad if we're going against Bayern rather than putting them out there against Shakhtar.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm in the same line of thinking. I want to show the red lot up the road how this is done. And Bayern, for all intents and purposes, are not the same Bayern that they've been the last 2 or 3 years either. So there's a lot of opportunity, I believe, as we move forward here. And in fact, the 2 teams I don't think I would want to play are the 2 teams that we cannot. Bayern doesn't really scare me as much as I thought they would. Juve, obviously, they're obviously not having the same kind of season. But anything can happen in a Champions League knockout match. Sevilla, Shakhtar, Porto, Basel. You would think that we would look a really good proposition against those clubs. Nothing tomorrow is going to make me jump out of my skin and say, damn it, I didn't want that team. It's not like being drawn Arsenal away first round or second round of the FA Cup or something like that. It's nothing like that. So I'm very much looking forward to see who we get. I'm going to celebrate with whoever we get drawn against. I just think Bayern would be a wonderful away day for our fans as well that do the European travel thing. So we'll definitely see what happens. Again, 16 of 18 points taken in the group stages. They're flying high. Pochettino came.
So you don't ask me who I would like then?
Nah, we don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, who do you want, Chaz?
Who do you want?
I want. Who do I want? Kidderminster Rovers. No, you know what? At this point, it really doesn't matter. It'd be nice if some of our English counterparts get knocked out in the round of 16, particularly the Chavs.
Wouldn't mind seeing City and PSG both get knocked out if that's possible.
Yeah, so I really don't care, but I think I'd rather face Bayern in the quarters because that's when. Well, no, they've lost at both stages. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I'd like it to see us progress further. I think Bayern's going to be tricky, but we can face anyone on any day, and which Spurs you're going to get, the West Brom Spurs or the Stoke Spurs.
The only thing I'm worried about is if you draw Besiktas or Shakhtar, it's going to be kind of a trap game. You're going to be looking for, or there's the risk of looking forward to the next round and thinking about it if you draw a competition like that. And, that's not to say anything bad against them or put them down, but it's just not the same as drawing Juve or Bayern, and you run that risk of players looking forward to the next round. And I just feel like it's more settling. It's weird to say that, but to draw the hard team and not have to have players not mentally be there during the match.
Yeah, I posed the question when I saw the teams that we could get drawn against, and I got Bayern or Juve from someone, Bayern, Basel or Porto. Obviously, someone there going for maybe 2 of the lesser teams. Porto, I think, are unbeaten on their season, and then again Juve and Basel again. So I think Juve and Bayern are the 2 big ones. They're the prestigious clubs that are there. We've already played Juve in that pre-season friendly at Wembley that we won. Granted, pre-season, but who cares? So, yeah, I'm not really fussed. It's got to be done, so let's get on with it.
Was it 2014, 2015 we lost to Porto in Europa League play? Was it?
I didn't know.
Who was it that
we lost. We did lose to Basel in 13-14, or was that 12-13? I think it was Dempsey's season. We lost on penalties to Basel.
Yeah, but who was it? You and I went to the pub. Remember all those old ladies were having like a blue hair luncheon? And you and I were sitting there watching football. And it was Europa League.
Benfica.
Benfica. That's who I'm thinking.
Well, we came back real strong at the end, and almost got to the point of taking it to extra time, and then we let Nlate go and blew it. Yeah,
that's why I keep you around, man. You keep me straight. And of course, we ended the week lovely. Stoke. Whatever ails you, go play Stoke, and you'll feel much better. This was an interesting match in hindsight. Looking back after it, let's talk about the match to get started off though. First, Tim, Son and Kane, stellar performances. I think the only thing Son did wrong the entire match was at the end of something that went great when he did that really nice spin around on the clearance from a header and had the breakaway upfield. I think we were 3-on-1, 3-on-2, and he had about 2 really good opportunities to pass the ball. Took the shot, missed. But other than that, he was out of this world good.
Yeah, I agree. I would say man of the match. I don't really think there's too much of an argument against that. I mean, he helped open up a lot of space for Harry. He made a lot of good runs. He was very direct in the attack. And, I think he's had 5 goals in his last 6 starts in the Premier League, I believe. I think we just need to find a way to get him on the pitch more. And, when we switched to 4 at the back, that opened up that extra spot for another attacking midfielder. I think it opened up things for Harry more. We just had more directness in our attack by having that additional player up top. But for me, yeah, Son, we need to get him on the pitch more because he was great.
No, he was wonderful. What about Kane for you?
Kane was really good, too. I mean, he could have had 4 goals. He missed 2 of them, but... Yeah, it was just a great performance by everyone. I was a bit surprised that Kane was still on the pitch at the end of the match. I get it, he's chasing the hat trick, but for me, with how many minutes he's played and has to play throughout, looking forward in this festive fixture congestion, it's just a risk to me to leave him on there when you could have taken him off.
Yeah, in Chairs, one of the things that's really been hamstringing us is slow starts. Now, albeit we went in at halftime 1-0, we got that goal early on, about the 20th minute. It was an own goal, and I don't think any Spurs fan complained how we got that early goal to try to open up one of these teams that was going to sit behind us, but that had to play a huge part in what happened afterwards.
Yeah, I was in the cone because I was working yesterday, so I didn't watch the game till quite late at night, and I was obviously seeing the same frustrations probably everybody was feeling up until the goal went in, that we were just passing the ball around, trying to get around the back of Stoke's defence, which inevitably we did. I think it was Son's cross, correct? Mm-hmm. That got in, and Kane was right there. He was ready to get the touch, and it was unfortunate that Shaw cross got on the end of it, and it went in the net. But you knew, as I said earlier, once that goal went in, it was a one-horse race. Stoke had a couple of half chances, but once the goals started going in, particularly those 2 in quick succession, obviously Butland, his error trying to dance in the box with Harry Kane and just getting a glove on it to send it out for the corner that inevitably we scored on, was really, I think, the catalyst for them just folding like a cheap deck chair.
Yeah, and it was one of those teams that you play against where even the substitutions, as Lamela came on, as Sissoko came on, they all looked bright. They all looked like they were a good proposition to get a cross in or do something moving forward. The movement
you
was
just said Sissoko and Bright in the same sentence.
I did.
But
and I saw him doing things up the
right
side of that pitch that I didn't think I would ever see.
It was decent.
Get in there, Kenny.
That was just for you, Tim, because
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I want to see you win the $100. I just don't know if he's ever going to really ever score again. I don't know. We'll see. Goodness gracious, what to do next? Oh, let's talk about some Harry Kane. Chairs, I know you've been doing some digging all day long, and I've been seeing some tweets, and it got me doing some digging. First and foremost, let's talk about how he finished 10th in this year's Ballon d'Or voting. I think last year, and I haven't been able to validate this because I've been looking and can't find it because it only